So, good morning once again, dear students of class 12. And today we are going to take up the last short story that you have in your syllabus for your ISC board examination. And the name of the story, as you can see on your screen, is B. Wordsworth. And the author of this short story is V.S. Naipaul. Now, he is from Trinidad in the West Indies, and he is not an Indian writer, strictly speaking, because he did not live in India, but then he was from a family which had its origins in India. So, V.S. Naipaul's famous book or novel, Miguel Street, as you can see on your screen, is something which is read the world over, and this particular short story is nothing but an excerpt or a portion of this famous novel. So it is just a portion or a part or an excerpt taken from V.S. Naipaul's Miguel Street. Now you can see the cover of the book on your screen, and today we are going to do the text of the story. But before that, let me tell you that this short story, if we may call it so, will be done in 3 separate videos, part 1, part 2 and part 3. So today we'll basically do the introduction. We will know a little bit about the author, and then we will probably do a little bit of the text in this particular video. So please pay attention to whatever you see on your screen and listen carefully. So I'm scrolling up now, and I want to show you the actual photograph of V.S. Naipaul. So on your screen you can see the photograph of this very famous author. He was a Nobel laureate, meaning to say that he was the recipient of the Nobel Prize in Literature for his writings. And this is V.S. Naipaul. It is really sad that he passed away just 2 years ago in 2018. Now, let's read a little bit about V.S. Naipaul before we move on to the text of the story. So, on your screen, we are coming to this a little later, but first I would like to discuss a little bit about V.S. Naipaul. So, on your screen, you can see a little bit of relevant information about V.S. Naipaul. V.S. Naipaul was born in 1932, and as I told you, he died in 2018. He is the most widely read and widely honored Caribbean novelist writing in English. So, as I told you, he was from West Indies, from Trinidad, and in his stories, particularly Miguel Street is actually a street in the West Indies, and he himself grew up there. As a result, there is a reflection of his own life experiences in this particular novel, a portion of which is what you are going to read today as B. Wordsworth. So he was widely read and honored Caribbean novelist writing in English. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature also, as I told you. His full name, I don't know why it's not mentioned here. His full name was Vidyadhar Suraj Prasad Naipaul. So from the name you can make out that he was of Indian origin, but he never lived in India. So V.S. Naipaul was born and educated in Trinidad before he immigrated to England, where he still resides. It's something which I've taken from the net. He was in England when he passed away in 2018. So this is probably written before he died, and that's the reason why it's mentioned in present tense, that he still resides there. His early work, such as Miguel Street, from which this story is taken, the novel is a linked series of character sketches partially based on Naipaul's childhood. The street itself has a mixed racial population of poor but not poverty stricken people. This was set in Trinidad and characterized its Indian and African originated peoples with a combination of sarcasm and affection. He became increasingly critical of the Caribbean, and his colonialist ideas have made him a persona non grata among the post colonial intellectual community. The fact that he is the only, or rather, he was the only Caribbean novelist of color to make the recent Random House Top 100 may support this pejorative opinion. Nevertheless, his novels and travel writing, his latest book was published this year. Now, this is written in 2006, most probably. So, was admired by all for the clarity of style and by some as clear minded, non sentimental diagnosis of post coloniality. So much for V.S. Naipaul. You can read a little more from your workbook, as well as a portion of introduction which is provided in your textbook. So I urge all of you to go through those portions to know V.S. Naipaul. Vidyadhar Suraj Prasad Naipaul, born 1932, died 2018. Winner of Nobel Prize in Literature. Remember him as one who was of Indian origin, he was born in Trinidad, he grew up in Trinidad, and you have the references of the Caribbean in his early writings, Port of Spain and Miguel Street and Trinidad itself. And then he immigrated, he shifted from the Caribbean to England, and there he spent the rest of his life. So, very famous author, and we are going to read now a little bit about the story and its theme before we move on to the text of the story. So, on your screen now you can see something else which is a very colorful and a very overall kind of description of the story. B. Wordsworth by V.S. Naipaul. Characters. There are basically 3 characters. Now, as it happens in short stories, you don't have many characters. So here also we have 3 characters. The first one is B. Wordsworth himself. Who is B. Wordsworth? He calls himself a poet who is an unsung hero. His poetry is not known to anyone, and he calls himself B. Wordsworth. Now, there's a reason for naming himself B. Wordsworth. His actual name is not revealed in the story. And then we have the child narrator. And this story is narrated through the mouth of a child, no doubt. But remember that this child could be Naipaul himself. And this story could be a personal experience of the author himself. And then you have his mother. So, the mother of the child. The setting is Miguel Street. Now, let's see the theme. The role of the artist in society, alienation, friendship. And from these 3 basic themes, you can have other themes also emerging from the story. So when we read the text and when we try to understand the plot and the characters, we may come across certain aspects which can bring out some more related themes. But let's focus on the role of the artist in society. Now, you have all done a poem. Already I have taught this poem to you through another video tutorial earlier. We are the music makers. Now, this story seems to resound or resonate with the same theme, that is, who are the music makers? The artists who actually mold the society. They blend into the society, and then they talk about the society, and they also suggest reforms for the society. So, We Are the Music Makers was a wonderful poem, and now we are going to do another similar themed piece of literature, but this time it's a story. Alienation. Alienation is something which you came across in the Dolphins. Alienation, the theme of alienation. Separation, being alone, separated from people of your kind. In this particular phase of the COVID-19 pandemic, we also feel alienated. But imagine an era when there was no social network and there was no media, electronic media and electrical media, no television, no mobile phones, no Instagram, no Facebook. So, if you didn't have these things, Twitter, if you didn't have these things in the past, and if a pandemic happened to be there, it really happened 100 years ago, how people felt isolated. And then we have other poets and authors who also write on this theme. We human beings are basically social animals. We cannot stay without a society of other human beings around us. We cannot stay in the middle of nowhere all by ourselves, which Prospero and Miranda were doing. But even then, they had Ariel, the airy spirit. They had the villainous Caliban. But 12 long years alienated. So, theme of alienation is something which almost all poets, authors, dramatists at one time or the other gives a mention in his or her writing. So, here also alienation. And then friendship between the narrator and the so-called poet B. Wordsworth. Now we know of William Wordsworth, famous British poet, famous English poet, by far one of the stalwarts of English literature. But we have never heard of B. Wordsworth. He is W. Wordsworth. So his logic will come up in the story, why he calls himself B. Wordsworth and in what sense he is a poet. And he's a very funny man. But then, when things seem funny, there is an underlying pain or sadness which one tries to hide with a smile on the face. And that is what B. Wordsworth is all about. Let's look at the key points now on your screen. One day, B. Wordsworth shows up at the narrator's house. He is smartly dressed, speaks good English, and says he wants to watch the bees. He claims to be the greatest poet in the world, that B stands for black, and that William Wordsworth was his brother. He claims that. I am Black Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, W. Wordsworth, White Wordsworth, and I am B. Wordsworth because I am Black Wordsworth. He is W or White Wordsworth. He is my brother or was my brother. It's impossible because Wordsworth lived long ago, not at the time when apparently the happenings of this story are taking place. He then tries to sell a poem and finally gets chased away by the narrator's mother. A week later, the kid meets him in Miguel Street. They go to B's house in Alberto Street. So all these street names are, you know, recollections of V.S. Naipaul because he grew up in these streets of Trinidad. So he goes to Alberto Street and feast on mangoes. So there's a mango tree. Caribbean islands, the weather is somewhat like what we have here in India, and so you get lots of citrus fruits, particularly mangoes. So there's a tree, a mango tree in the house of B. Wordsworth, inside the premises of his house, and they enjoy the mangoes. The kid stains his shirt. Mango juice falls on his shirt and gets stained. He knows that he's going to be beaten black and blue by his mom, gets thrashed by the mother, and goes to B's house again. B. Wordsworth tries to comfort him by showing him the wonders of nature and the beauty of the night sky. They go to St. Clair Avenue, the savannah, and walk to the race course. So these are all the different parts of the city of Trinidad. On being asked why he kept his gardens untended, because inside the premises of his house he has this fruits and flower garden, but then they are overgrown with weeds. He doesn't take care of them. He lets them grow the way they want to. Now, if you have a garden in your house, whether it's a kitchen garden or a flower garden, you ought to take care of it. You have to water the plants, you have to do the weeding so that the weeds don't overgrow the important plants and trees. But he doesn't do that. So this kid is asking him, why don't you take care of your garden? B tells the kid a story about how a girl and a boy poet fell in love. There was this girl poet and there was this boy poet. And they fell in love and they got married. How they hoped for a child and how the girl died with the unborn kid. She died at the time of childbirth, or maybe before that, just before she could give birth. So she died and her child died inside her. She had loved the garden and the husband left it as it was. So that was B. Wordsworth's reason for not cleaning his garden, not taking care of his garden. He doesn't say directly that he lost his wife. He just talks about a boy poet and a girl poet falling in love, getting married. One day, Mr. B tells him that he is writing the greatest poem in the world, and that the line of the month is, "The past is deep." They meet often and go to the botanical gardens, the rock garden, and the Chancellor Hill. Mr. B earns his living by singing calypsos, as nobody buys his poems. Now, what are calypsos? I'll explain when I explain the text. Calypsos are traveling musicians and singers. One day, the boy visits him to find him in a sick state. Finds him sick. He's very ill. Wordsworth then tells him a funny story, instructing him to never come back again. He tells the boy that everything about him, his poetry, and the poet lovers was a lie. That he is not a poet, that his name is not B. Wordsworth, that William Wordsworth was not his brother, the boy poet and the girl poet who fell in love and got married and then the girl poet died was not a true story, and that he should never come back to see him again, and that all he had said earlier was simply a lie, a big lie. The boy goes home crying. The boy walks past Alberto Street after a year. B. Wordsworth's house and the mango trees are replaced by concert buildings. It is as if he never existed. So they have pulled down the house, the entire garden is gone, and a big building has come up there where they organize concerts. It's a concert hall, new building. The property has been sold or has been taken over by either the government or by somebody. So B. Wordsworth simply did not exist anymore. So this is the basic outline of the story. Now let's read a little bit of the initial portion of the story. So I have taken the text from the internet. You can follow from your textbook because I won't be able to tell you the page numbers. Here I have the text on your screen. You can follow from what you see on the screen. So first is that introduction, which we have already done. Now let's begin with the story. B. Wordsworth. 3 beggars called punctually every day at the hospitable houses in Miguel Street. At about 10, an Indian came in this dhoti and white jacket, and we poured a tin of rice into the sack he carried on his back. At 12, an old woman smoking a pipe came and she got a cent. Cent is a coin, a monetary unit. So 3 beggars. At 2, a blind man led by a boy. Here there is a spelling mistake. It should be blind man led by a boy called for his penny. So 3 beggars would come every day to all those houses in Miguel Street where the people were generous and kind and where they would get something. So these 3 beggars. And remember, when we are reading this story, as I have said, or as it has been said in the beginning, in the introduction, this Miguel Street has a blend of African and Indian people living for generations. They have their roots in Africa and in India, but they are born and brought up in Miguel Street for generations. So their names, just like V.S. Naipaul's own name, tell us that they are either Indians or Africans in origin. And where do they live? In the Caribbean islands, which is West Indies, off the coast of mainland United States of America and just above South America. Somewhere between North and South America, you have a cluster of islands. These islands are known as West Indies or the Caribbean islands. So in geography, you have already done. In the Atlantic Ocean, very close to the Tropic of Cancer and the equator. So you have equatorial or tropical type of climate, and you have these people living in Trinidad. Even today, if you happen to go there in future, you will see that they have a community where many Indian customs are still maintained and followed by people of Indian descent or origin. They may not have people living in India anymore. They may talk about their forefathers coming from India a long time ago, but they have no direct contact with our country. These are Indians. So that's how you have the Indian beggar, and then you have so the Indian beggar, you can see that he comes in a dhoti, in a white jacket, and then you have old woman coming with smoking a pipe, and then a blind man led by a boy. So these two are probably of African origin. Sometimes we had a rogue, we had a scoundrel, a mischievous fellow, not really the regular one, occasional one, a complete stranger. One day, a man called and said he was hungry. We gave him a meal. So notice that people living in Miguel Street, they are poor, but they have very kind and generous natures. Somebody comes and says, I'm hungry. Even if there is not much in the home, in the house to give, the women in particular, they are kind enough to bring out something and give them something. So we gave him a meal. He asked for a cigarette and wouldn't go until we had lit it for him. Imagine, first of all, free food and then demanding a cigarette and then a light also so that he can smoke the cigarette. That man never came again. The strangest caller came one afternoon at about 4 o'clock. I had come back from school and was in my home clothes. The man said to me, Sonny, may I come inside your yard? He was a small man and he was tidily dressed. He wore a hat, a white shirt, and black trousers. I asked, What do you want? Now don't be surprised by this kind of English, because here in the Caribbean they speak this type of English. As far as grammar is concerned, they have no knowledge or idea, and this is the typical manner in which the Caribbean people speak English. So what do you want? He said, I want to watch your bees. Now notice, this man speaks grammatically perfect, correct English. Whereas the boy, and we will soon see his mother, they don't speak proper grammatically correct English. So I want to watch your bees. We had 4 small gru palm trees and they were full of uninvited bees. Now what are these gru palm trees? These are kind of trees which resemble coconut trees, but they are much shorter and they have bottle-like structures. So anyway, I will separately show you the pictures of gru palm trees. You find them in the Caribbean. So there were some bees, uninvited. Bees are never invited. They simply come and make their hive. You see them often coming and doing that in our school building as well. So I ran up the steps and shouted, Ma, it have a man outside here. He say he want to watch the bees. Notice the English. My mother came out, looked at the man and asked in an unfriendly way, What do you want? His English was so good. It didn't sound natural, and I could see my mother was worried. She said to me, Stay here. So she said to me, Stay here and watch him while he watched the bees. So the mother gives the permission to this man. The man said, Thank you, madam. You have done a good deed today. He spoke very slowly and very correctly, as though every word was costing him money. We watched the bees, this man and I, for about an hour, squatting near the palm trees. The man said, I like watching bees, Sonny. Do you like watching bees? I said, I ain't have the time. He shook his head sadly. He said, That's what I do. I just watch. I can watch ants for days. Have you ever watched ants? And scorpions? And centipedes? And congeries? Have you watched these? I shook my head. I said, What you does do, mister? He got up and said, I am a poet. I said, A good poet? He said, the greatest in the world. What your name, Mr.? B. Wordsworth. B for Bill? Black. Black Wordsworth. White Wordsworth was my brother. We share one heart. I can watch a small flower like the morning glory and cry. I said, why you does cry? Why, boy, why? You will know when you grow up. You are a poet too, you know. And when you are a poet, you can cry for everything. I couldn't laugh. He said, you like your mother? When she not beating me? Honest confession by the boy. I like my mother, but when she does not beat me, I like her then. But most of the time she is beating me. He pulled out a printed sheet from his hip pocket and said, on this paper is the greatest poem about mothers, and I am going to sell it to you at a bargain price for 4 cents. I went inside and I said, Ma, you want to buy a poetry for 4 cents? My mother said, tell that blasted man to haul his tail away from my yard. You hear? I said to B. Wordsworth, my mother say she ain't have 4 cents. The boy does not actually repeat the words of the mother, but comes out and says these words to B. Wordsworth. B. Wordsworth said, it is the poet's tragedy. And he put the paper back in his pocket. He didn't seem to mind. I said, it's a funny way to go around selling poetry like that. Only Calypsonians do that sort of thing. A lot of people does buy. So the boy remarks that this is a very funny way that you are trying to sell your poem. Only Calypsonians, or the ones who travel around singing songs to entertain people. The Calypso singers are famous in the Caribbean, and they are similar to traveling singers and musicians of Bengal, especially South Bengal. In Bengal, you have a particular clan or class or group of rural musicians who make use of handmade instruments, single-stringed or two-stringed instruments, and they go around from village to village singing beautiful songs which they compose as they sing. It's not that they write it down on paper, think and write like a poet. They can compose as they sing. They can compose and they can give tune to it. The lyrics and the music and everything is done on the go. And these people are known as bauls. So please remember this term, baul. So the bauls are very famous in South Bengal. And in the district of Birbhum in West Bengal, you have the famous Vishwabharati University, Shanti Niketan, where they have an annual fair for these traveling musicians who come and play beautiful music and sing beautiful songs. And these bauls are the counterparts of the Calypso singers of the West Indies, you could say, because the Calypsos also do the same. They take up topics based on the happenings in the world around and also the various social issues. They sing songs about relationships, they sing songs about social issues, they can openly sing and criticize the wrongs in the society. And in a way, their songs are very, very didactic. They seem to give a message to the people. And these calypso singers, they don't really have any other profession. As they travel, as they move from place to place, people happily provide them with food and sometimes with money and even clothes. So that's how they take care of themselves and their lives. The calypso singers, that is what this boy is referring to here. That you seem to be like the calypsonians, because they are the ones who compose and try to sell their composition in the form of songs, and poems are also kind of songs. So we'll stop here for the day in this video, and we will continue once again in the next part or the second part. So please mark up to this much in your textbook. People does buy. What you can see on your screen as the last line here, please mark it in your textbook. Find out from your textbook. It will probably be on the second page or maybe the third, beginning of the third page in your textbook of this particular story. And please find the line and please mark it up to this much, and we will carry on from hereafter in our next video tutorial. Till then, thank you very much.